Welcome to the Page by Page Book Club. I'm your host, Paige in Print, and I bring you weekly book club meetings wherever you get your podcasts. Y'all, I am so excited about today's episode because it is highly requested by you all. So I'm very excited to dive into it today. I'm giving you all my social media tips, tricks, content creator things, everything you could ever dream of knowing. Hopefully, I'm going to unpack with you all today. This will likely be a part one. I want to start off by saying I'm by no means a large creator, but I feel as though the systems I have in place work well for me, and they have helped me grow organically and quickly. And so I'm hoping that the information I can give you today is beneficial and meaningful. We're going to talk about starting accounts. We're going to talk about kind of restarting or redoing an account, because that's something I did on Instagram, kind of like doing a relaunch, if you will. We'll talk about ARCs. We'll talk about PR. We'll talk about author services. Like, we're going to talk about it all. And we only have so much time. So I asked you all on my Bookstagram stories what you all wanted to see from this episode, and I got lots of feedback as well, so I've tried to incorporate that as best as possible. But a little bit of history about my online presence to get us started. I started my Bookstagram in March of 2024. I created the account. I started posting so actually in the beginning, I posted 3 times a day, every day, like I do now, but they were edits. They were edits of books that I loved. It was very fun. I did this briefly until I started incorporating reels. And most of my reels were like lip sync, trending audio, that kind of thing. So that was kind of my thing. And then when I moved over to reels instead of edits, I was posting once a day, every day, probably until July of 2024, I would say. And then in July of 2024, I decided to start posting on TikTok. And so I created a TikTok account and started posting for about a month until I was like, okay, we're going to turn up the heat. And I started posting 3 times a day, every day in mid-August of 2024 on TikTok. And when I started posting on TikTok, I absolutely, completely, and utterly fell off on Instagram. Because I was like, I don't know how to manage this. I felt like Instagram only lip syncs performed well, but I was mainly doing talking videos on Book Talk, and so they didn't translate at the time. And so that's kind of how this all started. My very first talking video was mid-July. It was about Heathen and Honeysuckle by Sarah A. Bailey. Nobody's surprised. Literally nobody's surprised that was my first talking video. And it's funny because I remember my sister saying to me, like, you need to talk on your videos. Like, you need to talk. People need to see your personality. You're a public speaker. I grew up public speaking. I love speaking. Like, there's one of my favorite things to do ever is public speak. Like, that is not a joke. I love public speaking. So if there are any speaking engagements that anyone would like for me to do, let me know, because I love it. But I digress. I started doing talking videos, and I got more and more comfortable over time until December of 2024. 2 things started happening. 1, talks of the TikTok ban became more prevalent. And 2, I started a series called the Page in Print Awards, where I awarded my favorite books of 2024 in a 15-day series, and each day had 6 videos each. Yes, it was the heaviest lift of content I have ever done. I can talk about that in another episode because there were a lot of lessons learned, there were a lot of good things, and there were a lot of bad things that came out of that. So, continuing on my villain origin story, I was posting at the time. I can tell you exactly. I had grown on TikTok. I had one like decent performing video that gained me a lot of followers, but up until this point, my growth had been pretty organic, like just drops in the bucket, if you will, in the sense where it's like a few followers here, a few followers there, every video, every day, just consistently showing up 3 times a day. I will say to this day, I have only not posted 3 times a day. Like, I've only missed 1 day of posting 3 times a day once on TikTok last year. And that day I only posted 2 videos. So you see, like, it, I have been like very, very consistent. And I think that has been key. Okay. December 15th, 2024, I had 1,443 followers on Instagram, and 5,983 followers on TikTok. Not that follower counts necessarily matter, but I'm just kind of like showing you all from a growth perspective. So that was the start of the Page and Print Awards. That was the first day of the Page and Print Awards. I was posting 6 times a day, every day for 15 days through December 31st. And December 31st was a huge reset for me because I was like, okay, there is a chance that TikTok might be banned and I have to diversify my platforms. This is also where the origin story of this podcast came, where it's like, I can't be reliant on one platform. And so I was like, I'm going to treat Instagram the exact same way I treat TikTok. I'm going to post the same content. In the beginning, I was trying to make different content for both platforms. I have since moved away from that. I'm posting the exact same thing both places. So then in January of 2025, January of this year, I started posting every single day. On January 13th, 2025, I had 1,802 followers on Instagram and 7,135 followers on TikTok. So yes, that was where I was at. And then today, as of recording in early May of 2025, I have 7,743 followers on Instagram and 12,925 followers on TikTok. So I tell you all this just to get an idea of growth, and it's very much so a drop in a bucket where it's every video. You're looking to get anywhere from like 5 to 10 followers every video. And then there's going to be those random videos that pop off, and it might be 100, it might be 1,000, but that's kind of been my growth over time. Now, I want to talk about how I did this, how I got there, how I'm posting 3 times a day, every day on multiple platforms, how I'm doing all of this. And again, I just want to reiterate, like, I do understand, like, in the grand scheme, I am not a large creator by any means, but like, I'm living my own dream. Like, this is such a cool job to have and get to do. And so I just like any amount, like 7,700 individual people, like real life people. Those are people. And 12,900 people. Like, that's crazy. So then you think about, 50,000, 100,000, 500,000. Like, those are people. Like, it's crazy to think about. Let's talk about just starting Bookish accounts in general. I would say there are a few different types of accounts, and whatever aligns with you best, I say you do. There are people who yap like me. There are people who do like more aesthetic type videos. There are people who do more lip sync type videos to like songs or viral sounds or those kind of things. People who do edits and just still posts. Like, literally, the world is your oyster. Whatever you're good at, do it. You can always pivot. You can always change your mind. Like I said, I only did lip sync content like up until July of last year. So you can change at any time. I would say one of the best assets you can possibly have is a willingness to pivot. If something's not working, change it. Not even if something's not working. I would say if you're unhappy, change it. I don't think if it's not working, change it. Like, give it some time first. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, about the algorithm and all of that good stuff. So hold tight. But I would decide the type of content you want to start with and then decide on a goal, because there are so many things that you can get out of content creation, and the goal doesn't always have to be a content creator. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a little less black and white than I'm about to make it out to be, but do you want to form a community? Do you want to just talk about books with people who also love the same books that you do? Like, what is it that you want out of this? And maybe it is, I want to grow and be a bookish content creator. And I think that's okay. I do encourage people, like, for me, I want to grow and be a bookish content creator. I also want to form a meaningful community. I also want to talk to people about books that I love. So, like, you can hold all those things at once, but the truth of the matter is, aside from a like just viral moment, which are few and far between, truly, the choice to be like a full-time creator, for example, is like, it's a commitment. It's a commitment to growth and a commitment to the work. And that's kind of where I am at personally, which is why I say that. But I just never want to give the people the impression, and I don't think that I do, especially with my vlogs, but that it is easy. Now, For some people, it is. For some people, like virality finds them very quickly, and that is amazing. Like amazing, amazing, amazing. And for some people, it just looks like slow, steady, organic growth over time. And that's incredible too. So once you decide that you want to do this, you have to create an account. Might I suggest a pen name? Breaking news. I, Page and Print, use a pen name. Oh my God! Tea and Lore. Tea and Lore. Yes. Paige is a pen name. Paige is actually my middle name. So it is part of my name, but I use the middle name for two reasons. A, the pun was too good. It's legitimately spelled like a book page. Why would I not use that? Why would I not do that? Like, duh. And then B, just for a sense of anonymity, because I'm talking about smut. You know? And like, I work at a construction company and it's a very male dominated field. And like, I use a pen name not so that people online can't find me. It's so people in my real life have a harder time finding me. You see, like, I just think it allows you a degree of separation, if you will. Like, I think about my husband and he is very ambitious and hopes to grow in his role. And I'm very proud of what I do. He is very proud of what I do as a job. Like, he is so proud of this. But I don't ever want him in a position where people are like, your wife talks about smut on the internet, you see? And so, or even like, it's not even that. It's just like your wife's an influencer. Like, it allows him, I don't know. It just allows a degree of separation for my family, for my future kids, like all those things, like the same, not the exact same, but in many ways similar to why an author would utilize a pen name. So Paige is my middle name. I do answer to it. People call me all kinds of things in my real life. Paige is one of them. So anyway, that was breaking news for the listener. This is where I always feel it's very important to say, Paige is not a character for me. Paige is not somebody that I play on screen. Paige is every bit me, my government name. Like, I am Paige. She is me. This is not a character. The only thing Paige offers me is a level of confidence that I don't have in my real life. I am extremely introverted and extremely socially anxious, which I think Paige empowers me to be brave and to meet new friends and do all those good things. But I feel it's very important to say Paige is not and will never be a character to me. Just because it's a pen name does not mean it's a character. Okay. But while you're creating your account, just consider that. Like, I recommend, if you want it, allowing yourself a degree of separation. If you don't mind, you don't mind. Like, I feel it's important to say too, like, I'm not embarrassed about what I do at all. Anyone who will listen, I'll say I'm a bookish content creator. Like, truly, it's more so just like, if I ever need it, a degree of separation for myself. Okay, so anyway, if you're going to make an account, consider maybe using a pen name. Okay, you have an account, you've decided the kind of content you want to make, you have goals. You have to post. No post will be the right post. No post will be the perfect post. You just have to get something up. I talked on the Let It All Out podcast, which actually comes out this week as well, and you should absolutely go listen to it with Julia. She asked me a bunch of questions kind of about the psychology and mindset and kind of, it's very adjacent to this conversation, but not the exact same. A lot of content creator questions. So if you want to hear more about just kind of my mindset and those kind of things, I highly recommend going over to that podcast. But I told her, I look back at my old posts, they're not my favorite. I cringe a little bit. They're not the best product I could provide, but I am so proud of her. Like, I'm so proud of her. She put herself out there. She tried something new. She was creative. And I love that. And I'm never, ever, ever going to fault myself for that. So you might not love your very first piece of content months down the road, even weeks down the road, but you have to post something. And the only way you get better is by getting reps in. So keep learning, keep evolving, keep growing. If my videos look the same now as they used to, like, I'm posting 93 videos a month minimum. I hope I've grown and learned and changed a little bit. So your first post doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be something, and you can pivot and learn and grow from there. Nothing happens if you do not post. So get your first post up. And I recommend, as a social media content creator, to try to become as post neutral as you possibly can. What do I mean by that? I mean, as best as you possibly can, remove the emotionality behind posting on socials. So if a video hits, okay. If a video flops, okay. But if you can pull the emotion out of it, like I used to get really disappointed when posts didn't go the way I wanted them to because I worked really hard on them or whatever. And then, it's the tale as old as time, or the one that you don't even spend any time on is the one that goes viral or whatever it may be. And it's just like, you cannot let your emotions be tied up in a social media post. You just can't. There's so many factors that go into the success of a social media post that are outside of your control, like the algorithm, like just people being present online at the time that you post. Like, there's so many factors that are outside of your control. So if you're putting forth the best quality product that you possibly can, and you should be proud of that. Not and, not but, not like that's that. You should be proud of the quality of product that you've put out there and let it go. Let it, like, literally post it and let it go. If it does well, amazing. If it doesn't, fine. Let it cook. And please, please, please do not delete a post for the sake of it not performing well. It could pop off a week from now, especially on Instagram. Instagram is funny like that. Like, it might not hit that first day, but 5 days later, it's popping off. So do not delete that. The only time that I'm like, okay, maybe is on TikTok usually, where you're way below your average view count. Don't delete it. Just move it to private, like for my eyes only. But I please, get over the cringe, turn off your view count if you want, turn off your like count if you want, but just leave stuff up if you are proud of it. Okay? So that's that. So here's where we're going to get into my tips on how I feel you can get organic growth on social media, if that is your goal. If your goal is to create community and to talk about books, you've done it, dude. You're good. Let it cook, have fun, make friends, join the group chats, get on the Zoom calls, like, comment, share, save, do it. You are done. You're good. Which is I'm doing those things. I love those things. But if you want to potentially turn this into a job or to find growth in some capacity, here are my tips in that sense. Okay? You're going to hate it. I know you don't want to hear it. Consistency. Consistency, consistency. Find a frequency that you can show up and show up. Whether it is once a month, once a week, once a day, 3 times a day, whatever you can do it consistently. If it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, great. The algorithms love to see that you show up regularly and consistently. If it's consistency down to the time of day that you post, incredible. But just be consistent. It helps not only the algorithm, but it helps you. I treat social media like playing darts, okay? The more you play darts, the better you get at playing darts. And the more darts you throw, the higher likelihood it is that you're going to hit a bullseye, okay? You see, it's a metaphor. But yes, so I'm throwing 93 darts a month. And that is how I'm seeing consistent growth, because I'm getting better at it. I'm learning what works. I'm learning what doesn't. And I am throwing darts and hitting more and more bullseyes. I'm getting better at it. And the algorithm is seeing, it's very much a snowball too, I feel, where I think as you grow quicker. So I've kind of found that as well, but that's certainly something to think about. I also, too, go into your insights, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, podcast, wherever, and see what content is performing well consistently. What was your best video of the month? Do it again. Remix it. One of the questions that I got for today's episode was, how do I come up with so much content? I am not afraid to say what I've already said over and over and over again 100 different times, because I've only read 300 books only. I know that's a lot of books, but I'm posting 93 videos a month. So 3 months I could get through all those books. And it's keep posting. say the same thing 100 different ways. So you like Chestnut Springs, here are recommendations. So you like Reckless, here's recommendations. So you like Heartless, here's recommendations. Powerless, Reckless, Hopeless. So you like Rhett, so you like Kate, so you like you see, like, there's so many ways to remix the same idea, and if it performs well, keep going. Ask people what they want to see. I mean, that's been a really, really huge success I have found as I've grown, just to say, like, what kind of videos do you want to see from me? And people leave comments, and then I make them, and it makes them happy, and it's beautiful. Find consistent types of videos that you do. So I do my daily vlogs, obviously daily, but I do those videos where it's like, so you like this? Is it this or is it that? Like, if you know me, you know. And like, that's a cadence of video that I found to be like something that performs well and that people correlate with me. It's funny, like sometimes people will make these videos and then people will comment and be like, this is what Paige does. So, oh yeah, this is a great opportunity to say, be inspired by people. Yes, absolutely. Content creation is so inspiring. Allow yourself to be inspired. But if you're inspired by someone, I am quite literally begging you to tag them. Even if, like, I do this often where I had the idea, I filmed it. Someone had a similar idea and posted it before me. I didn't see their idea, it didn't necessarily inspire my video. I'm going to tag them anyway. I just think it's courtesy. I think it's a kind thing to do. I think it's the right thing to do. So I recommend, if you are using an idea that's similar to someone who has done it before you, to just give them a tag and be like, so-and-so did this earlier this week and I absolutely loved it. You should check them out. There is room for everyone here. Every single one of us. And we can all use the same books, the same camera, the same microphone, the same lighting, but nobody's you, nobody's me. And the most unique thing that we have to offer is ourselves. That's for any niche for that matter. The unique thing that you have to offer is you. So as best as you can, be authentic, be kind, be yourself. The only unique thing you have to offer is you. That's why I never gatekeep. Because I'm like, yes, I'll tell you how I shot my videos. I'll tell you what microphone I'm using, the makeup I'm wearing. I'll tell you the light I'm using, the platforms I edit with, how I play my, like, I'll tell you everything. Because at the end of the day, and I don't mean this in a like cocky way, I mean this in a like beautiful uniqueness of each individual ways, like nobody's me. In the same way that nobody's you. And so there's room for all of us. I want a world where there's endless, incredible bookish content. Like, yes. So I will never gatekeep because I want people to have the opportunity to succeed. So, rabbit hole. Nobody's surprised. I also just feel that like part of this is a blessing where I have always been like a creative. Like I've loved music. I've loved creating. This has always been like kind of just like something that I've been drawn to. So that certainly helps. But just from another standpoint, don't be afraid to talk about a book multiple times in multiple different ways. Now, I wouldn't bar for bar, word for word, make the same content over and over. But how many times have I talked about Heathen and Honeysuckle? How many times have I talked about Whistleblower? How many times have I talked about Catherine Cowles? But was it the first time I said it that you read it? Or was it the 20th time I said it? And for some people it differs and so on and so forth. But I am only a generous 30-second piece of someone's day. And so if they're hearing me say the same thing this week and 2 weeks from now in different ways in such a small chunk of their day, so be it. Okay. Oh, okay. Yes. So I'm looking at my notes. Yes, this episode I brought notes, baby. Yeah, it's that serious. It's that kind of episode. I wrote down notes. Yeah. I recommend now. I am a business manager and a business strategist. That's my author services. That's what I do for people, but I also do it for myself. That's how this author services even started. I had an author ask me like, how are you organically growing? What is going on? Tell me more. What are you doing? And I was like, oh, well, I have a business plan. And they were like, oh, well, could you do that for authors? And that's how I ended up here. But I have a plan. I know what my brand looks like and what aligns with my brand. Like, for example, I'm a book recommender. And so every video I create goes through this funnel. And it's like, okay, is the video of the quality that I expect? Is the video providing a benefit to my viewers? And then is it in alignment with my brand? Because I would say there's probably 2 videos I film every month that don't end up making it onto social media for lack of brand alignment. And usually it's because I'm a book recommender and I'm 100% positive all the time. Something will have a bit too much negativity or criticism, and not like constructive, thoughtful criticism. Like just like, I was like, oh, I don't like that I said that. It's not in alignment with who I am or what I want to represent online. And so it goes. So when you are creating content, don't just create it for the heck of it. I would center it and align it with who you want to be as a person. Same for authors for that matter. Like when you post, ask yourself, this is a little free piece of business advice. Does this align with my brand? Is this what I want to put out in the world? Take a moment, step back. We're in a very rushed society where it's like go, 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 go. If you just take a moment and say, is this in alignment? You will be much happier. So there's that. I'm going to talk now about what I use to create my content. I'm just going to tell you exactly what I use. And then we're going to talk about arcs and author relationships and those kind of things. Cool. For my content, I use, what I'm filming on right now, what I use for all of my videos is a Sony ZV-1F vlog camera. I got this camera for something else. I just happened to have it. I do not believe that you have to have this camera to succeed by any means. Like at all. I do think that it provides me a very unique look. Like I have very specific camera settings that provide like a very unique lighting and look to my videos. And it's very crispy. It shoots in 4K. You can shoot in 4K on your back camera of your iPhone too. So you don't need to have that, but that is what I utilize. It is not a ring light. It is like an actual, imagine like just a full circle and it's light all the way through. I love it. I have it linked as always, but I use that even if it's sunny out just to be sure that I have consistent lighting. I've started doing that in the past few months and I found that to be very helpful. And then platforms that I use regularly are CapCut. I edit all of my videos in CapCut on my laptop. One more time, on my laptop. I used to edit all my videos on my phone, and with the amount, like just the sheer volume of content, it is unrealistic, and I'm able to move extremely quickly in CapCut on my laptop, so highly recommend that. All of my covers for Instagram are made in Canva. I do photo shoots on my camera probably every other week. And I just film a video on the camera of me posing and doing all the things. And then I just screenshot the poses. That's what I recommend. Do it on your phone too. It makes life so much better. And then I plan all my content in Notion. I have my exact Notion content planner linked for free on my pages. I just want you to succeed. It is of no cost to you, but I have the exact Notion that I utilize to create and plan my content linked on my pages. So enjoy that. Really, at the end of the day, what this is a discipline and organization game. A lot of the questions that came through on my story asking me for more information on just how I do this and like what you all wanted to hear in this episode is just like, how do you do it? And it's a discipline game, dude, because I would love to doom scroll. I would love to just sit and read. I would love to watch TV, but I want to do this as a job. That is my goal. That is my dream. And so I treat it like a job. I get off work and I clock in, and I probably put 40 hours into between my author services and my social media and this podcast. I probably work an extra 40 hours a week. I said this on the Let It All Out podcast. Like, I hate telling people that. And I used to not tell people that because it's just like, people will be like, all of that for that many followers. And it's like, yeah, that's a lot of people. And I'm proud of what I do. I love what I do. Oh my gosh, I love doing this. So yes, I will do it for 40 hours a week to maybe one day have that be my job. Like, what a gift and a blessing. No one's forcing me to do this 40 hours a week, but it does require a discipline to clock out from a 40-hour a week 9 to 5 and clock into another 40 hours. Like, it just does. And it doesn't have to be that extreme. Like, you could just post once a day and maybe commit 10 hours a week, or just whatever time you have to commit. Align it with your consistency, align it with your output and your capabilities, and then show up. But whatever you have to give it. I have to force myself to get off of my phone. I have to force myself to not do like some of the fun things. Now, I don't sacrifice my social life. I don't sacrifice my relationship with my husband. I don't sacrifice sleep, but I'm not watching TV. I'm not even reading as much as I used to. So that's the discipline of it all, where it's just like I get home and it's like I have to do this. I have things to do. I gotta clock in. I have to do it. And then I have to stay organized. I'm very type A. What? Me? Type A? Yeah. I know you're shocked. Pick your jaw up off the floor so we can continue. Yeah. So I have my content very clearly planned in that Notion calendar. I know what I'm going to do. For my authors, I'm very planned, meticulous, particular. But I mean, like, that is pretty much the service I provide. It's running your business. So, yeah, that's kind of the thing there, where it's like, okay, we got to keep it rigid. We got to keep it consistent. We got to stay locked in and focused. So let's talk about ARCs and PR boxes. Yeah. Why not? ARCs are advanced reader copies. They are advanced copies that authors give to creators for free in exchange for an honest review of their book. And there are many, many ways to get an ARC. What I recommend is finding your favorite author, and usually around release time, they will promote on their social media where they're hosting ARC signups, and if they're doing it. Some of them do it internally, but many utilize a book PR company to host ARC signups. And you will sign up, and what they like to see usually is an active review account. So social media and Goodreads, Storygraph, Fable, Amazon, any of those that you're willing to review on. So what I would do is, as you're reading, write a review. Write a quick little review of what you think, so that you have kind of a portfolio of reviews. Maybe it's 10, maybe it's 5, I don't know. And it doesn't have to be long, but just like, I loved it because of this. This character made me feel this way, maybe a brief summary, but have active accounts on social media and on review sites. Many book PR firms will let you know what they are looking for in ARC readers, and they're like frequently asked questions or even in the form. And yeah, that's that. You just sign up and do not get discouraged. Look, I get rejected all the time, so do not get discouraged. Do not stop signing up just because you didn't get some. Like, just keep trying. Keep at it. Do not give up. The only people who do not make it are the people who give up. The people who put one foot in front of the other every day and show up will make it to the finish line eventually. And it might not be today, and it might not be tomorrow, and it might not be next month, but the only people who make it are the ones that don't quit. You cannot give up. You have made it too far to give up. One foot in front of the other. You can take a moment to breathe if you need. You can kind of lay off the gas a little bit if you need, but do not give up. Not now. You're too close. Do not give up. Do not get discouraged. In terms of PR, I have found there are a few ways to do this. Very rarely are there PR signups, or you can sign up for PR. Sometimes when you sign up for ARCs, you can give your address and it will be sent. The PR boxes that I got came from authors that I was talking about, that I was going hard for. I love this book, so I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to yell about it. I'm going to make the best quality content I possibly can. I think many authors will honor your support and appreciate that and give back for that. Because look, at the end of the day, anybody's video about any book could go viral at any time. And so yes, maybe someone with a larger following has a higher opportunity for a view count, but if you're making great content, if you're showing up consistently, if you're going hard for authors, you have just as much of a chance of going viral as anybody else. And so they're probably going to show up for you if you show up for them. And so that is a way that I have found PR coming my way. So more than anything, I feel like the way I have started to receive book mail is by talking about books, going hard for these authors, and showing that, like, if you send me something, I'm going to post about it. If I love your book, I'm going to yell about it. And I think that goes the same for publishers, as I've started to receive more physical ARCs and some more book mail from publishers. I think it kind of goes hand in hand, where it's like, okay, well, she goes hard for the stuff she loves, and she does daily vlogs, and if she gets book mail, she posts about it. So I say, if you get something, post about it. And I say, go hard for the things you love, create the best quality content that you possibly can, and people will see that. You have just as much of a chance as anyone else at any time to grow. So That's ARCs and PR boxes. Let me check to see if there are any more questions. Yes, lots of questions of like, how do I balance everything? And as I said, just like lots of discipline, locking in, even when I don't want to, kind of treating it like work and a job. It's hard when you work for yourself to like really require that discipline of yourself and to lock in, but it has, when you see the results, it really is helpful. And I'm passionate about this, dude. I love this job. I love doing this. This is a dream come true. This is the coolest thing, the opportunity of my life. And so being passionate about it and loving it, and yeah, I mean, like that in and of itself makes it easy. Wanting it so bad. Like, I want to do this as my job. How cool would that be? And so I think wanting that is like definitely part of it too. And I don't know, I feel like it's not something I say all the time where I'm like, I want to do this as a full-time job. I feel like I kind of show that in my actions more so than anything, and actions often speak louder than words because the only person that's going to get me there is me. So anyway, I don't know. I don't really know where I'm going with that, but that's kind of that. The last question that I don't think I've covered yet is, how do I go about posting about my author services and growing that side of my business? So far, it has just been organic, where I am mutual friends with an author, we're chatting, I talk about my author services on my vlogs or online, and they're like, oh, I saw you mention this. What do you do? What does that mean? And I tell them about what I do, and some of the time they're like, oh, this would align with my business, and some of the time it's like, oh, this doesn't make sense for me, but it might make sense for my friend. So it has felt very organic at the moment. I would just say, like, put yourself out there. If you do something, talk about it. I don't have like a dedicated post necessarily. I have like a story highlight, but I haven't made like a dedicated post to being like, this is what I do. Get your foot in the door, collab posts with people, like that kind of thing. Use your relationships, because like it is very much symbiotic, where it's like I'm helping authors, they're helping me. Like we're all in this together. We all want to grow. We all want to succeed. And so I think you'd be surprised at the amount of people that are like willing to support, so long as it's in their budget and all that good stuff as well. So I would just say, talk about what you do. I personally like try not to be like super salesy. That's just like my personal preference. Now, sometimes like it happens that way, but other times it's just like it organically comes up and it works out and so on and so forth. So yes, but that's that. That's me. That's my content creation ideas, thoughts, comments. That was a lot, and I feel like I was talking very quickly. I don't know. When I get really passionate about things, I'm like, go, 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 go. I don't even know if any of this was particularly helpful. I talk a lot about like burnout and mindset and all of that other good stuff on the Let It All Out podcast, so I'm not going to talk about that here. I can do another episode after hers releases. You should definitely go check that out, because burnout is such a huge part of this. Like, one thing I have had to give up as a bookish content creator is reading. Like, the time that I have in the day is taken up by something. And if it's being taken up by creating content, I can't read, you see? Like, so that has been a really interesting thing. You all probably hear me talk a lot about that on this podcast, but yes. So this episode is a little bit different. I hope you enjoy it, and I am sorry if you don't. It's a little more serious. It's not like as hee hee ha ha, but we'll be back regularly scheduled programming next week. If you're listening to this on release week, I am on vacation. Very exciting. Love, love, love vacation. I desperately needed a break, so I felt like a kind of like odd episode that's not usually what I do would be good for my vacation week, because everything's just thrown off, so why not? But I hope this is helpful, and please know my messages are always open. Do not hesitate to reach out. Do not hesitate to ask me any questions. I am an anti-gatekeeper. The only thing I will not share, like my like innovative ideas or who I am as a person, I suppose. So anyway, questions, comments, just want to gap, slide up in the DMs, please. I love talking. I'm a chronic voice noter. Nobody's surprised. The girl who has a podcast is a chronic voice noter. So, beware. But I adore each of you. Thank you for even having any interest in hearing me talk about this. I don't even know if this is helpful, but maybe it is. Show up. Be yourself. do what makes you happy, and that'll do it, I think. Thank you as always for spending your time with me. I'll see you in the next one.